Now, so you graduated in '84, right?
84 high school.
And Mike
yeah.
graduated in '84 also, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then when did you guys get your guitars?
Okay, so we both started playing guitar at about the same time, eighth grade, and we both had like acoustic guitars,
Right.
nylon strings. In fact, I think he bought one of my nylon strings, my first nylon string. He bought it at one point.
Uh-huh.
We both had vintage Les Paul copies back then. You could have Les Paul copies whatever, you can't do that now. So that was my first guitar. It's a vintage Les Paul copy. I think Mike had one also. So that's and then in high school we got the electric guitars, and he had a Kramer, and I bought in '84 I bought a Gibson Flying V, which is my big heavy metal guitar.
And were you guys taking guitar lessons from somebody?
We both took lessons down in Vienna at Gordon Keller Music on Church Street.
Was anyone cool teaching the lessons?
No. No. I mean we did that for like maybe a year. It was just teaching basic chords and how to tune a guitar. So
Gotcha.
After that, it was. We both took lessons from Bill Katapish, who's currently a blues. I think he's got a blues band. Plays in D.C. He's still in the area. He was great because you take in a tape, you say, "I want to learn this song," and
right.
he lived over in Vienna back in some place that's been paved over now. But yeah, we both took lessons for a couple of years in high school from Bill. And
right.
Bill was pretty instrumental in my learning. I think for Mike also. And at that point, Mike certainly had a better ear for learning off tape or off records, whatnot, than
right.
I did. And that's that.
Cool. So, how about you, Chris? When did you start getting into the metal stuff?
Probably junior high. That was the cool stuff. Like even Def Leppard, High and Dry. And you start out with some, Judas Priest. You hear it on the radio.
And your sister liked this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I had older brothers and sisters, so I was exposed to some AC/DC, and Kiss and, 76.
Right.
Of course. And, that was the cool stuff, man. And then I started seeing local bands, and these guys with their hair down to their waist.
What bands did you go see?
The local bands like Wrathchild America. It was Wrathchild back then. And there was some rock bands, Monarch, some hard rock bands like that, DC Star, some of that local stuff, and that stuff's it just seemed like a cool place. Plus, I was close to that Jack's, which was the Wild West back then.
Oh, and you saw some shows at Wild West?
Yeah, I actually went there when I was like 14 for an all-ages show, and it's back when it looked like an old movie theater.
Right.
What kind of shows do you see there? I don't remember.
Monarch, yeah. My sister brought me there. It was Monarch and some other band, and I went to the Bayou for some of the bigger shows.
Yeah.
I'd get my dad. My dad would, I'd bring him because he liked to drink, and so he would chaperone me and a friend in there to go see like Rat, back when I was like 14, and so those were the bigger, the better shows at the.
Wait, did you go to the Wax Museum also?
I never went to the Wax Museum.
Yeah, saw Twisted Sister there, Queensryche for their first tour.
My sister went to that. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a picture I think of on the Deceased website of Mike with. With Dee Snider. It's a picture that I took when we went together to that show. That was cool. That was cool.
Wait, so you had just gotten your driver's license at that point?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we were able to drive down to.
Did your parents
Museum.
know where you were going?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I mean, if you weren't doing drugs back then, they were happy to see you interested in something other than that. Showing interest in music was at least. Seemed healthy.
Yeah, the Bayou. We went to a lot of shows at the Bayou.
Yeah, man, I remember seeing King Diamond on his Fatal Portrait. His first solo. That was.
And you went to the Motorhead at the Ontario Theatre. Did you go to that gig?
I didn't go to that one.
I didn't go to that. It was Motorhead on.
It was Motorhead, Merciful Fate, Exciter. And did you guys? You used to go to Seagull Inn a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, Seagull Inn. Yeah, up there in Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
And Voivod played somewhere up there. I can't remember.
And so how did you guys get into the Have Mercy and the Deuce and all the local stuff? How did you?
Well, they opened up for a lot of these shows.
So you just talked to those guys or what?
Yeah, I never really talked to Deuce.
No, I never talked to those guys. I saw them open for Rat and Grim Reaper.
Right. Oh, you went to the Grim Reaper show at the Bayou?
Yeah, for the See You in Hell, their first album.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I was a pig in shit, dude, with it, you know, like, if you're into metal back then, it's going to those shows, you know, getting my dad to get me in, because they wouldn't let you in at that age at that club, you know, you couldn't see that stuff.